We have Mercury retrograde from August 23rd to September 15th, and this is going to be one of the most intense Mercury retrogrades that we've had over the past few years because we are also going to have 5 other planets retrograde by September. Also, if you want in-depth astrology content, in-depth horoscopes, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So because we're gonna have 6 planets retrograde, you may feel like life is very stagnant right now. You may feel like things are really slowing down, and you may be reminiscing about the past a lot. So there may not be a lot of forward momentum, rather you are constantly reflecting on the past. So for example, you could be thinking about an ex a lot, you could be reflecting on your past situation with an ex relationship, you may be thinking about an old friendship, you may be thinking about old situations. You are going to be thinking about and basically living in the past. Because we'll have Venus retrograde happening at the same time, this is really the likeliest time out of the entire year that you will hear back from an ex or reconnect with an ex. And if you've been thinking of reconnecting with an ex, this is the best time to do it. So if you were ever going to reach out to someone and you want to gain closure, this is a really good time to do it. So this is really the time to figure out your relationships with not only exes, but also anyone else from the past. These could be old friends, old acquaintances. So you are going to be reflecting on your past relationships. If there is unfinished business there, you may be going back to that. Or during this time, you may be reflecting so much on the past that you realize that someone from your past isn't good for you, and this will allow you to move on. So either you are going to think about someone from your past and you're going to realize that that person's not meant to be in your life anymore, so you can move on from that after these retrogrades are over, or you may realize that there is that unfinished business there, you're going to return to them, you're going to talk to them again. So this is the time where you're finally going to really realize and figure out what's going on in your relationships with other people. Now this Mercury retrograde is actually one of the better Mercury retrogrades that we will have this year because Mercury is exalted in its home sign Virgo, which means that this is actually a really good time to just slow down, take a break, and reflect on your past. So this really isn't the time in life to move forward with momentum. This is the time to just take it easy and relax. And this is a time where you are going to revise a lot of old things. So you may be revising old plans, or you may be going back to old projects that you haven't quite yet finished or that you've procrastinated on, and you will finally be able to revise them, get things done so that you can move forward with a new plan of action after the retrogrades are over. So this is a major time for introspection, looking within yourself, and old emotions and feelings from the past are going to come flooding through. This is a time where you are going to have to deal with old wounds from the past so that you can heal from them. So be brave and allow yourself to feel all of these emotions that flood in from the past so that you can finally move on once the retrogrades are over. So just like every other Mercury retrograde, you can expect some delays and mishaps, miscommunication. So this may be a time where you make some mistakes. So be very careful when you're working on projects, when you're trying to get your studies done or work done in your career, as there is a tendency to make minor mistakes. Try to be very clear and concise when you communicate with others, as this is a time where, again, miscommunication is common. This is not a good time for signing contracts or making major life-changing decisions. So try not to do anything new around this time. It's not an ideal time, for example, getting into a new relationship, signing some sort of new contract, or starting a new career. So try to avoid doing major new moves with your life. It's not the ideal time for travel. For example, there could be mishaps when it comes to traveling, losing items. So during the first week of Mercury retrograde, we are going to have Mercury retrograde opposing Neptune. So this may be a time where people are dishonest, people aren't really telling the truth. You may feel very tired around this time, and you may feel confused, like there's a lack of clarity. So this may be a time where it's really hard to make major decisions. It's hard to be clear and direct as well. There may be a lot of miscommunication, mostly around that time, the first week. I also want to note, even though Mercury retrograde ends on September 15th, you will still feel the effects of Mercury retrograde all the way to October. However, the effects of Mercury retrograde will definitely start to dim as the days go on after September 15th. So by the end of Mercury retrograde, so around September 15th, you are likely going to have a major realization, or some sort of hard truth is going to come to the surface. Now, if you do decide to reconnect with someone from your past, as like I said before, this Mercury retrograde is one of the best times to do it this year. Try to make sure that you do it in a very clear and concise way, because Mercury is in the sign of Virgo, so you're going to want to communicate things in a very direct manner. So if you do talk to someone from your past, try to get your point across as effectively as possible for the best results. If you are looking for the best day to communicate with people, get work done, or make plans during Mercury retrograde, plan around September 6th. This is the best day out of the entirety of Mercury retrograde because we are going to have a Sun-Mercury cazimi. So the reason why I say this Mercury retrograde is more intense than any other retrograde isn't because of Mercury retrograde specifically, but because of the fact that we also have 5 other planets retrograde retrograde. So this really is the time where the past is going to completely haunt you. This isn't a bad thing, so don't be scared, but it really is the time where you are going to reflect a lot on the past or go back to the past and get things that are from the past done. So again, Mercury retrograde isn't the best time to make new plans, but it is the best time to plan, re-strategize, and rethink your old plans and decisions. Also, everyone, but especially Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces placements are going to be feeling a bit more rowdy, agitated, frustrated. You may be feeling a bit more stressed than usual. Again, you may be feeling a lot more tired than usual. So this is a time where people's tempers may flare up. So people may get more agitated and angry at others, and this can lead to conflict, but try to monitor your emotional response so that you don't lash out at people, you don't get mad at people. In the end, this Mercury retrograde will be a good thing because you have to deal with your past before you move on. And there may be things from your past that are still unresolved that you still have to deal with. Now I'm going to talk about how each sign is affected by Mercury retrograde. Aries risings, this is a time where there is going to be major reconsideration when it comes to your career. So you may be replanning what you want to do with your job. You may be thinking of pursuing a new job or doing things differently in your career. You're also going to be rethinking your diet, fitness, and exercise regime. So you are going to rethink ways to allow yourself to become a lot healthier. So if you haven't been on top of the health game, this is the time where you are really going to plan how you are going to get back on top of your health. Taurus risings, this is a time where you are really going to be rethinking your romantic relationship. So a lot of you may run back to an ex, or you may hear back from an ex. So if there's unfinished business with an ex-partner, this is the time where you may have a conversation with them. Some of you may even get back together with an ex. So you may be dealing with past relationships, resolving past relationships. Or if you're already in a relationship, you may be dealing with how you can improve upon your current relationship if there are existing problems. You may be reconsidering your current relationship and deciding whether or not this is the person that you really want to be with. So there could be a lot of breakups that occur around this time. Or likewise, you may be thinking of getting into a new relationship. This is also a time where you are going to be rethinking your creative endeavors as well. So you may be going back to a creative project so that you can turn it into a success. Gemini risings, this Mercury retrograde is happening in your 4th house of home, family, living situation. So you may find yourself just dealing with your family a lot, dealing with family affairs. If you haven't been getting along with family members, this may be a time where you reconcile with them, or you may just be spending a lot of time with your family members. You're also going to spend a lot of time at home just reflecting on your life. So you're going to be a bit of a hermit living at home, just thinking about how you can get better when it comes to your plans and strategies. So a lot of time will be spent at home reflecting so that you can improve in life. Also, you may be planning to relocate. So some of you may be looking for a new area to move to. This doesn't apply to every Gemini rising. Or you may be thinking of redecorating your home, refurnishing your place, or some of you may even be looking to sell your old property, buy a new property. Cancer risings, this is going to be happening in your 3rd house of communication and projects. So you are going to be getting a lot of old work projects done and out of the way. You're going to be very productive. So you will really be focusing on getting some old projects that maybe you've been procrastinating on done and completed. You may be making major changes and planning how to restructure your routine so that you can lead a much more productive and effective lifestyle. Leo risings, there are going to be major reconsiderations when it comes to your career and your finances. So you may be looking for a new career outlet. You may be re-strategizing how you want to go about your career so that you can become more successful and make more money. Or you may be rethinking how you want to budget or how you want to spend and save. You may be rethinking new streams of income, new ways to make more money. So financial strategies or budgeting are going to be the major focus. And this will help you secure the bag in the future, secure more wealth. Virgo risings, you are most affected by Mercury retrograde because it is happening in your sign. So you are going to be reconsidering how you want to present yourself to the world and what kind of impression you want to make. So you may be rethinking how you want to dress up or how you want to change your appearance. Basically, you're going to be creating a brand new identity, and you are going to be improving your reputation and improving the way that the world sees you. You're also going to be very private though. You're going to be very reserved, and you're going to be hiding yourself from the world a little bit. There's going to be a lot of introspection and reflection on how you can improve your life or how you can resolve issues from the past. Libra risings, Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in your 12th house of mental health and addiction. So you may be finding ways to combat certain addictions. For example, you may be looking at ways to finally get rid of an alcohol addiction or a food addiction, or you are going to be finding ways to finally cope with with mental health and to rid yourself of anxiety, stress. So there's going to be a lot of introspection and a lot of time reflecting on how you can improve upon yourself. So self-improvement is a major focus for you this Mercury retrograde. Scorpio risings. Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in your 11th house of friendships, group organizations, and associations. So you may be reconsidering some of your friendships. You may be thinking of letting certain people go from your life if someone isn't good for you. So if there's a friend who doesn't have the same values as you do, or they may cause too much drama, or you may find that you don't enjoy their company anymore, you may be ridding yourself of toxic friends. You may also be reconnecting with friends from your past. So you may try to get back together with someone, or you may start socializing a lot more. So there are going to be changes when it comes to your social groups and how you put yourself out there to the world. Sagittarius risings. Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in your 10th house of career. So you are going to be making major reconsiderations to your career. So you may be thinking of leaving an old job. You may be thinking of pursuing your dream career or pursuing a job. You may be rethinking a different way in which you want to move in your career. So there's going to be a lot of reconsideration and rethinking your career plans, or you may be getting a lot of old work done and out of the way. So finally completing old projects that you've been procrastinating on. So expect to make major plans when it comes to your career. Capricorn risings. Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in your 9th house of travel and education. So you may be thinking of making new travel plans. So there may be some consideration around travel for some of you. Some of you may also be reconsidering your educational plans. Or for those of you who are not traveling or are not pursuing higher education, you can expect to become a lot wiser during this time. So you may be studying up on subjects, for example, learning about psychology or learning more about your career, and you are going to be gaining a lot of knowledge. So this will be a time where you are becoming smarter and you are brushing up on your skills. Aquarius risings. Mercury retrograde is going to be happening in your 8th house of finances and investments. So you may be re-strategizing how you want to handle your finances, which is going to help you secure the bag, secure more wealth in the future. So you may be planning how to budget, you may be planning to finally pay off certain debts, or you may be re-strategizing your investments, your joint finances. So expect to make major money moves or to make major plans surrounding money. Pisces risings. Mercury retrograde will be occurring in your 7th house of relationships. So this is a very likely time that you will hear back from an ex or reconnect with an ex, only if there is unfinished business there. You may be spending a lot of time thinking about your past relationships. Your ex could be thinking about you too. So chances of reconciliation are higher around this time than they are for the rest of the year for you specifically. Or you may reflect on a past relationship and decide that you are over that, and this will allow you to finally move on. Or if you're currently in a relationship, you may be thinking of ways to improve upon that relationship, or you may even be thinking of leaving your current partner if they are not right for you. So expect to make major plans and to rethink your romantic relationships.